For you, President Joe Biden will not seek re-election with less than 4 months to go until Election Day. And the big question now, what happens next?
Yeah, shortly after dropping out, the president endorsing his vice president, Kamala Harris, and after a while, her statement saying, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." Biden's campaign formally changing its name to Harris for President.
CNN pulled together the 6 most recent national surveys of likely voters. They showed Trump with an average of 48% support, Harris with 47%. Now, every poll they averaged was done after the presidential debate. And our senior political reporter, Jason Whiteley, joins us this morning to break down the next steps in the race. And, here we are, a month out of the Democratic National Convention. It's not like we get to do a whole round of primaries again. So we're looking at delegates to make this choice.
Yeah, no time at all for that. Right now, we're 1 month away this morning from the DNC actually starting in Chicago. So not a lot of time, as you mentioned here. This morning, though, Texas Democrats do have really a renewed sense of optimism, they tell me. Listen to this amount, though. Overnight, Democrats announcing they raised almost $50 million since Biden dropped out and Harris ascended to the top of the ticket. Context, though, it's always important. And not since 1968, former President Lyndon Baines Johnson from Texas has a sitting American president decided not to run for re-election. Biden's decision comes to step aside more than 100 days before Election Day itself. So this morning, the Harris campaign is going to be on the phone again. Texas delegates tell me they've already heard from the Harris campaign asking for support. I talked to Jane Hamilton, who ran Biden's 2020 campaign here in Texas. She says that she thinks that Democratic delegates will make Harris the nominee, but generally speaking, she says, financial donors, they might not all be on board with her campaign just yet. Take a listen.
Donors seem to not necessarily be aligned inside of their own circles. But what I'm hearing from key Democratic leaders and delegates, our super delegates, is that they're going to be behind Harris.
But the donors aren't necessarily aligned?
I would say no. And my message to them would be get on board.
You have to have money to run a campaign, so that's going to be important to watch there. Several Democrats told us they expect more candidates might emerge. But the next 24 to 48 hours is going to be telling. We should know by Wednesday morning this time. The question is, has Harris now boxed them all out after working the phone and getting a lot of support early on? Here's a good marker. No Democrat has publicly opposed her candidacy so far. Dropping Biden and promoting Harris does really flip the script. It helps Democrats flip the script on Republicans, now making age an issue. The Democrats are doing that. Donald Trump, they say, now the oldest presidential nominee in U.S. history at age 78 years old. He is older than Joe Biden was at this time in 2020. Republicans are really having to reset the campaign themselves with 106 days until November. They're now running against Vice President Harris. The GOP, though, says Harris also owns Biden's record. Just changed the name at the top, but the issues remain the same. Mark and Kara?
Yeah, well, you kind of alluded to it. Kamala Harris getting Joe Biden's endorsement, but some other names may bubble to the surface in the next couple of days, and also vice presidential names as well.
Sure, and I've been asking about the vice presidential ticket as well. When might she announce and tell people who she would pick? Might it be at the convention, which is August 19th when that starts? No one really knows yet, but the best bet is it's not going to be anytime soon. She has to solidify support in the meantime.
Now, if you're a voter watching this morning going, I voted for Biden to be the nominee, do you reach out to your delegate? Do you tell them what you want? I mean, how does that work?
Absolutely. You can reach out to your delegate. Actually, finding your delegate is a little more challenging than it is finding your member of Congress or member of city council who represents you. But at the end of the day, Democrats who supported Biden also supported Harris. Her name was on the ticket. This is not that far of a jump for Democrats.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Sure.
Yeah, look forward to checking in with you more in the next half hour.
All right.